love for who you are, that directly translates into all of your relationships. When we're feeling more love, it's easier to radiate that love and bring it to everything and everyone around us.
Well, good morning. Welcome back, everyone. We have such a great guest here today. I love that we're talking about something very new and exciting that we have not talked about here on the podcast. We have Cass Estes here. She is an intimacy and relationship coach. Her passion is about, she's passionate about pleasure and helping people thrive. As an intimacy coach, she combines neurobiology, shamanic healing, and holistic embodiment practices, blended with ancient wisdom and teachings. The work is based in an understanding that all of us are sensual beings with a tremendous capacity for love and connection. I love that. Good morning and
Good
welcome.
morning. Thank you. Good morning, Lori. I'm so happy to be here.
So before we get started, I am going to ask you, what is in your coffee cup this morning?
My coffee cup is full of Earl Grey tea. Coffee makes me a little jumpy, so I tend to stick to tea. And Earl Grey, I love the smell. The smell is just intoxicating. So, yeah, I'm more of a tea girl.
Lovely. I love Earl Grey tea, and I love like all the different brands of Earl Grey tea because I would like to sit and smell them, and they all kind of smell a little bit different, but it's all that bergamot and smells so
Mhm.
good. Citrus. I love it.
Yes, me too.
So, as we dive in today, we're going to talk a little bit about energy medicine and what you do. So, and everybody practices differently. There's like, that's what I love about learning about all these different modalities is that there could be something that like we call it something, but everyone practices it a little bit differently. So, can
Mhm.
you tell us a little bit about what you do with energy medicine?
Yes. So I work with energy medicine in a couple of different ways. Um, in my coaching work, I really help people tune into the energy within their bodies and that bioelectric system of chakras and sexual, sensual energy. Also, the energy that comes with different feelings and emotions and how to work with, move, release that energy. And then in my shamanic healing work, I work with energy like your spiritual and energetic body and doing different healing ceremonies and rituals to move that energy, to ease that energy, to even extract that energy.
Now, when I think of sensual energy, I think of oh my goodness, the sacral chakra. I think
Uh-huh.
the sacral chakra. Um, do you work primarily with the sacral chakra, or are you using all the chakras and do they kind of overlap? Or um,
I would say I use all of the chakras. I would say probably the lower chakras the most. And I primarily work with women. So with women, definitely sacral and just that pelvic womb area. One can hold and generate a lot of energy, and it can also be a place where we're storing a lot of things that are blocking our energy or causing issues in our system.
yeah. So with and you have a specific methodology. You have do you call it 4 steps?
Um,
Pieces.
well, I put four on my website. I don't know if I have a specific name for my methodology. The coaching program that I went through is very tantric and Taoist. I mean, it's a wonderful blend of all kinds of things, but it's very rooted in embodiment
Mhm.
and really tuning into the wisdom and the communication system of your body, really listening to the messages that you're getting, and learning to work with your body and kind of get
So
out of your
powerful.
head. We can all get
Yeah.
stuck in our heads around a lot of things.
Yeah. And so much is just, I know we possess so much within us, right? It's so powerful. And we're always, it seems like our culture wants us to get everything from outside of us and look outside. And we have so much inside that's just beautiful and answers and everything. So
Yes,
powerful.
I couldn't
So,
agree more. Yeah.
so when you talk about, so you said embodiment and you talk about connection,
Hmm.
I want to speak a little bit about what that is.
Yeah. So embodiment is, really tuning into your senses, your sensations, your feelings and emotions, your inner landscape. And in terms of connection, I work with both the connection that you have to yourself around self-love, self-care, just the way you nurture yourself. And of course, the way you care for yourself and that primary relationship gets reflected in your outer relationships with other people. So, working on both of those at the same time is incredibly healing. And for instance, when you're feeling more self-love, love for your body, love for who you are, that directly translates into all of your relationships. When we're feeling more love, it's easier to radiate that love and bring it to everything and everyone around us.
So true. It's kind of like that, they always say that if you're on the airplane and put the mask on yourself so you can take care of everybody else. It's so true, like so true. Um,
Definitely.
can you explain agency?
Yes. For me, agency is really about empowerment and that we are the ones creating our own life, our reality. We've made all the choices to end up where we are today. And being reminded of the agency we have and the choices we make every day. And as a coach, in many ways, I'm also an accountability partner for people when they're making changes in their life. And I'm there to cheer them on and remind them of their power and how to stand in it and how to really set healthy boundaries and honor themselves, like honoring what you really want. I know that I'm going to generalize and say a lot of women are very good at caring for others and putting themselves a little lower on the priority list. And so sometimes what we need to really thrive in our lives is actually tune into what we want and then saying no to the things that aren't taking us in that direction.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. And then you also work with spirituality.
Hmm.
Can you ex-
I do. Yeah. I've been studying, I've really loved spirituality my entire life. And I spent part of my childhood overseas living in Kathmandu, Nepal, which is just a very spiritual culture. Like to have that really around me as a child was impactful. And then as an adult, I would dabble in things here and there. And then at one point, I finally decided to really take a deeper dive into shamanism. And for me, spirituality is about your personal connection to source, to the universe, to nature, to the energy that's around us that's bigger than ourselves. And so I believe if we look back far enough to when we were all indigenous people, um, that there's some things that we've lost in our modern culture around spirituality, ceremony, ritual. And so, my personal experience with that has been when I bring that into my life, it's like a remembrance. There's a way that my body is very familiar with this process or this ceremony or this connectedness. And I really believe that in our modern culture, we really will thrive with more of that, you
Yes.
know, like with our children, with our parents, with our family, just with our community. So individually fostering that connection to spirit and also within our families and communities.
So beautiful. Well said. Absolutely. Do you have some tips or things that you kind of practice during the week or daily that you'd want to share with our audience that can be helpful?
Yeah, I definitely do. Um, One of the things that I often share with my clients, and it's so simple, um, but it's really throughout the day, whenever you're going around doing anything, is just asking yourself that question, what would give me more pleasure right now? Or what would give me more ease right now? And tuning into that. And sometimes that can look like, let's say you're on the couch and you're just like a little bit cold and you decide, okay, I'm going to go get that cozy blanket and really like snuggle up in it, right? Like you're doing something to care for your own body. But that can also look like I'm on the couch and I want a cup of tea and I would be delighted if someone else made it for me.
Yes.
So, and just initiating the honoring of yourself, what you desire, what would help you feel good in that moment, and really listening to that. Um, I think the second thing that I want to say is around embodiment. So when you learn more and practice more with becoming embodied, being embodied every day. Really just the core of it is listening to your body, listening to all those messages. There's a lot of messages that we receive all the time that we are ignoring or have kind of conditioned ourselves to ignore.
Yeah.
And it's a gentle process of beginning to listen and beginning to take action around those things. And so, one of the things I like my clients to tune into is when they are hesitating, getting tight, tense, feeling that lump in your throat. It's like your body's either not liking something or your body wants to voice something and you're like containing it or holding it.
Hmm.
And so just that simple process of starting to tune in. How often am I doing that? What are the patterns that have developed around when I do that or who I'm doing that with?
Yeah.
And just beginning to notice.
Do you have a
Yeah.
way that you suggest that people keep track of that? Like, is it like maybe checking in, every day or journaling or like how would someone create that habit, I guess? Because it is like a habit. It's like a way of thinking to where
Yeah.
eventually you are doing that self-care all the time. Um,
Yes. It's definitely a habit. There's a lot of things in my coaching practice that are around changing habits, working to create new habits. It would be more, let's say, I would probably tailor the exercise and the practice to specific issues that people are dealing with. But I think the first one that comes to mind really is around relationship. So let's say you are trying to change something with your partner, and often it can be some specific things that people are having issues with. Um, Journaling, of course, is a great way to track it. Um, but I don't always think that's necessary. I mean, I think that's each person's choice if they want to do it that way. But I would probably assign them with some homework that was specific.
yeah.
Like when this situation comes up, I want you to really notice what your body's doing and listening to it and listening to what you need to do to honor yourself in this situation. And A lot of times it is speaking up more, speaking your needs, asking for what you want and desire, and changing the way you communicate. It's like you're changing the way you communicate with yourself by listening. And then the next step is changing the way you communicate with the outside world.
So
Did that
really,
answer your question?
yeah, it just feels like you're speaking about like just becoming empowered,
It definitely.
like really honoring yourself, like you said. And that's beautiful. And I think a lot of women
Yes.
do that for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what's coming to mind right now is I do a lot of work around sensuality and sexuality. So that sexual relationship. And one thing that I mean, even though I used to be exactly like this, I'm still constantly amazed by how little people talk about their experiences together and also what they like and don't like. And many of the things I can do can seem surprisingly simple, but it is really rewiring yourself to, yes, be empowered and really speak and really hold that higher bar so that you can exist in this life in this place where you really want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And what you're speaking about too, I feel like, well, like creating those habits and then just you start thinking differently, I guess. And something that's coming to mind right now, I know just for myself, I, and I don't know how this came to be, just
Yeah.
that, um, I had heard, people talk about how when things are challenging and they come into your life, and then instead of thinking, oh, this is horrible, that this, you could be experiencing some really horrible challenges, but to shift that into this is like a gift for learning or a gift, and think, oh, this is what, the universe or source is telling me I need to learn right now. That whole shift, like it's been really powerful for me. And I do it naturally. It took me a while to do that, but I know how powerful that is for me. And what you're talking about with these habits, I feel like it can be so powerful if we could just naturally, I know it takes time, but naturally go to these places where we are standing in our power. And that way that just seems incredible. And just to think of a world where so many women or anybody was standing in that kind of power and feeling empowered. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I couldn't agree more. And I feel like there's a lot of cultural and social conditioning for women to suppress their needs, their desires. There's a lot of messaging that is not supportive for women in this world. And another one that I was thinking, I love the one that you just brought up because, yeah, I couldn't agree more. And another one that I'm thinking about in terms of just myself, some of the simpler things that I've done to change some of those patterns is um, I used to work in fashion, right? Like I love shopping, I love design, like I love beautiful things. And I used to feel a lot more, I want to call it lack, or I would see things that I desired, but it wouldn't feel good in this way. It would be this like wanting, coveting, envy. I wish I had that kind of vibe. And that one, I've really shifted. Even if there's things in my life, like let's say currently, like I'd like to have a different, nicer, newer car, right? Instead of feeling kind of bummed that I don't have it yet, I can drive around and see the dream car that I want and be like, that's a sign from the universe. I just saw it. I love that card.
Yeah.
And just get excited instead of feeling
Yeah.
like I'm looking at my card going, I don't like this card anymore. But we can do that with all the things that we're desiring, is seeing them around
So
us,
true.
or even seeing that our friend just got it, and like we can have those feelings like, oh, I really want that. Like I'm feeling bummed because I don't have that. But let's celebrate that our friend got it and it's right here. Like it's like coming into your field.
I love
And
that.
yeah.
I'm gonna start doing that. Like, I
Uh-huh.
love that. That's awesome. And what a
It's
great like frequency that you're sending out too. Like,
yes.
I love
Yeah,
that.
it feels really good. It feels really good. And one of the other ones I love is I don't even remember where I heard this quote. Maybe you've heard it. It's not rejection, it's redirection. Have you heard that one?
Oh, I like
So like
that.
so like when something's not happening the way that you wanted or expected, or this applies to so many things, is just remembering and trusting that the universe has your back and this isn't rejection. There's something different out there for you that's going to move you closer towards your destiny and your path. And that wasn't for you. And just trusting that even if there's some feelings around it, which is completely natural, that trusting that there's something else that's for you.
I love that. So much good advice. Now,
Mhm.
and now that you talked about fashion. That's why
Uh-huh.
you have this beautiful sweatshirt. Do you feel comfortable standing up and showing it to everyone that's on video? I know some of this will be on audio. So if you're on audio, you're going to have to,
Oh,
but
yeah,
this
can you see
beautiful
it?
sweatshirt that
It goes all the way around.
so pretty. And you designed
Yeah.
that, correct? And you sell those on your website.
I do sell them on my website. The the orders are currently open because I've moved to just doing pre-orders and not holding inventory. These are very special, challenging to have made and printed. It's a really high quality sweatshirt, and it's so much more than a sweatshirt. This snake energy has a lot of power. You really feel it when you wear it. Like you can see it in your peripheral vision, and yeah, you feel held. And so there's a whole message that comes with it when you purchase it that, yeah, I don't want to give it all away.
Yeah,
It's
I'm gonna
like,
get that one. They're so beautiful. And I have to tell everyone, you have to look at her website. Check out Cass's
oh,
website. I
thanks.
love your website. It's really cool. I just remember that's the first time I saw it. I was like, this is unique. Like this is a
Oh,
whoever did your website is beautiful. So beautiful. So you got to check
oh,
that
thank
out.
you. Thank you. I did it myself. Like
Oh, you
I love
did. Oh my
design. Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, I did all of
Oh,
it. Thank you. That
stop.
means a lot.
Oh, it's awesome. Well, Clutch,
Thanks.
we've got to have you back because we have a lot more to talk about. I know we do. So people want to work with you. What's the best way to connect?
The best way to connect is to go to my website and contact me. You could also go to my Instagram and direct message me. That would be the best way. Yeah.
We'll have all that information in the show notes. And so, gosh, thank you for being here today. It's so great to see you.
Yes, thank you, Lori. This has been a pleasure. I look forward to more. Yeah.